Bitcoin price action intensifying as we are going into the weekend. I want to bring up the critical levels that I'm looking at. Make this one short and sweet. Make sure you smash the like button. Join us on Discord and Crypt courses in the link in the description below. And if you want to use our favorite exchange and partner, Blowfin, there's a link there as well. Let's take a look at Bitcoin on the daily time frame. And I have a bit of a naked chart here with a fib on. And why do I want to bring our attention to this once again? On the daily time frame, you got that 618 and the 786 coming in right in this zone. And I do want to see if I can line this up with a bit of a deeper target, because the full retrace, from the macro high to the low. And by the way, yesterday's thumbnail was totally wrong. The signal was not a bearish signal. It was in fact a bullish signal, marking the lows are in. And again, what was that signal? So this is right between the 382 and the 0.5 on a macro schedule, just looking at the fibs here. So still a good point of confluence, and I will shrink this back down. This was our last momentous move on the daily time frame, and therefore you would expect, if we're going to remain bullish and keep that uptrend, that we do not start closing any dailies below the box of peace and prosperity or death and despair. Long story short, there are some bullish things in the market. There are some bearish things. Overall, the longer Bitcoin does trade sideways here and kind of dig itself out, more specifically, if it can get above the $60,000 pivot, that would be our first warning sign. Well, that we're going to get a shot all the way back up to 64, 65,000. So that, daily 382 is going to be a major line in the sand. That would also put us over the white 200 exponential. And, notice we still have a positive slope. So the bulls still do have a chance. There's still a dog in the fight or a bull in the fight. The bears are in the closet at the moment. No, I wouldn't say we're out of the woods yet, but Bitcoin is, it's a famous chart pattern. What was that guy saying today? It's called, famously boring. And, I don't know where Bitcoin's going pattern. That's what Bitcoin's doing right now. So, just taking a look here, daily Stokes will cross down freshly below 56.5 over the weekend. So 56.5, is that going to come in right here? And that would be pretty much today's low. Yeah, so if we do close a daily anywhere below there, probably not going to be so good, for the weekend price action. Every once in a while, they do something crazy over the weekend. The stock market did have a bit of an up and a down day, In a sense, this was, the biggest pullback yesterday. We had a little bit down this morning, and then we popped back up. If you look at it on the shorter term time frames, like a 15-minute or an hourly, does look a bit more bearish than the higher term time frames, which do rule the market. And as long as NASDAQ is closing above that $20,300 pivot, you could still remain bullish. Look at this as a bullish kind of retest of the breakout here, and onwards and upwards for NASDAQ, which would be good for Bitcoin. And on the other side, right, if Bitcoin starts to pull back, probably not so good. All right, Dow, Dixie. Dow looking a little bit more bearish here on the hourly as well. That looks like a bit of a top. Money was said to be running to the Dow and the Russell, coming out of the S&P and the NASDAQ. Coming out. So, going to have some bearish divergence there forming. So it does look like S&P does want to take a little bit more down. Opening it up on Monday, Bitcoin dominance also still dribbling it out to the downside, which should benefit most altcoins. And you would see today, most altcoins did outperform Bitcoin. A few of the notables, Super up 3%, Prisma up 4% today. Prisma absolutely got hammered. This one better come back. Beam also, probably going to be on the receiving end of a bounce. Beam one of the gaming tokens out there. Let's take a look at my other list here. And Ethereum also looking a little bit more bullish than the rest of them. And with a run back to the all-time high, you know, I think it's 55%. July 12th is supposedly, or is it July 15th? The Ethereum ETF begins to trade, so that also could be points for the bulls there. What else did we want to bring up here? Ethereum, Bitcoin. We have the CMEs did close the week here, so let's see how that looked. And this is another thing giving me the downside bias. You can see here on CMEs, we have not, tested that white 200, white 200 simple has not been tested yet. That's coming in at 51,000. Looks like a small gap down there for the CMEs. I wonder if it's more visible on the 4-hour time frame. Do you see any gaps there? No, I do not. So high value nodes and candles below that Bitcoin could attempt to take a run at. This looks like a juicy one right here. So I am going to just draw a little box here at 52,000 and see where that lines up in comparison to where price action is. And boom, we already tagged the middle of that box. So if we lose that level, next level down here at 50,000 bucks, 50,000 again. CMEs is the futures market, so there is a bit of a premium over spot at the moment. As it's pretty even, about $100 premium. And next level down, just eyeing this out in case you want to try and pick the bottom here. Because what do we have on the horizon here that I have not heard on the interwebs at all, but it's this signal right here is the weekly. We had the 5-day volatility set off on spot price, which is in motion right now. We're just beginning. Funny, I hear about people talking about a bounce here. This is more convicting for me for a little bit more downside, at least that test of 50,000 bucks, as volatility is just beginning to lift here off on the 5-day time frame. Sorry, that's the weekly time frame. The 5 days just getting off here. I mean, we're just getting above 25%, telling us the move is probably going to continue, and that 5-day closure is going to come over the weekend. So, if we can get back above 64,000, that would look really good for some fun over the weekend for Bitcoin. All right. And it's not, I probably would look at sideways price action over the weekend as the most likely event. And look at that. Look at that Solana liquidity headed up there. I see you. I see you. I think I'm going to wrap it up with that today, guys, and we will circle back up on Monday. Solana liquidation levels. Let's take a look at Bitcoin really quick. Funding rates are nothing inconsequential here. Next one, I wanted to look at the heat maps for Bitcoin. What? Liquidations, Bitcoin, all, okay. Run the report. We'll look at the 7-day look back as the weekly close is about to get here. The weekly close, I suppose, is about to get here. So what does that mean for Bitcoin? Well, we want to keep an eye on Sunday afternoon to find out how the week does close. If momentum remains to the downside, it will remain down. But I do want to bring up this map really quick here. So 60,000 bucks. You can see the next. You used to be able to zoom in. Now you can. Yes. That bright green is likely where price looks to be floating onwards and upwards here. And as long as we don't take out that low here, that would look good for a bit more continuation to that bounce up to 60,000. So If we can get above this level here at 53, where's the level here? 53, 57, 551. Let's see, where is it on Bitcoin? It is more like this level here on the hourly time frame. Let's see here, 58.5, is that right? No, it's probably more on a 15-minute. Yeah, 58.5. Back above there, going to look bullish for Bitcoin. We did regain that Y200 temple, and we're getting some upside curvature. Short term, looking at a bounce here for Bitcoin going into the weekend. But the question is, does the bounce hold? Do we get some volume to follow through? Most likely nothing happens till Monday, and look for the next major economic event. This week it was CPI, right? Inflation came in lower than expected, stocks dumped, and Bitcoin went. So sideways, crazy market, absolutely tough to trade out there right now. But I do believe that once the low is formed, that we're going to be in for some really, really nice upside going into the last quarter of the year. And with that said, guys, I'm going to sign out here. I hope you have a blessed and highly favored rest of your weekend, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.